having the interest in gastronomy and food nutrition, travel, culture, and agriculture. She is a oral presenter here, and she belongs to Indonesia, and she is actually in the Center of Study, Indonesian Food Anthropology, CSIFA, History Division, Gastro Tourism Academy, Indonesia. Ma'am, if you are there, kindly share your slides and start your presentation.
Wait, can the committee share my presentations? Well, my name is Surapa Kustipia. I'm from Center for Study Indonesian Food Anthropology. For the first, can you hear my voice before the committee share my presentations?
Yes, we can hear you properly.
All right. For the first, what is the gastronomy? The gastronomy here is, this word is indeed not popularly used by the public, okay? And then which is known about culinary tourism, which is about gastronomy itself. We talk about, next slide, please. We talk about, before we talk about gastrotourism, we should know about the popular food philosopher. He is a Brillat Savarin from French or Franc, and then Brillat Savarin, the first gastronomist or a gourmet also, who write the book, The Psychology of Taste, first published in 1825. And then he told us about the gastronomy, about in a nutshell, about from food system, food habits, and then food processing, food history and allegiance, and food cultures, food pleasure, and even something related to food. So in Indonesia, we translate these definitions about a food system and a gastronomy. So how about the gastronomy can influence the food and nutrition? Well, something related to food, it can be concluded that gastronomy doesn't only talk about the food system that becomes food after it is processed. Next slide. Well, after gastronomy, we built about the gastrotourisms for promoting about travel tourisms, and then nutritions, and of course food, included culinary, cookery, and gastronomic issues. And in gastrotourisms, the first photo is a local tourist who joined with eco-gastronomy or eco-gastrotourisms in a forest area. So we find about food from jungle and then food from forest, and we're gonna be a chef or a jungle chef. And then a gastrotourism program which defines that enjoying food with contemplations and suggestions that makes the interactions of all sense. It means the tourism trend in the new era of normality that has begun to open is a great opportunity to re-echo the gastronomy that is a package with the gastrotourism program, which defines that enjoying food with contemplations and suggestions also. And then how about the interactions of all sense process in determining sensory sensitivity while traveling in Southeast Asia gastrotourisms? Talk about gastrotourisms or talk about gastronomy in Indonesia or in Southeast Asia. When I travel or when we travel, go abroad, we just find about a gastrotourism program like food tour. Food tourisms, there are many food guide who will guide us to visit street food and then culinary or cooking class in that country. And then for in Indonesia, I found Pakistan food like Pakistani food like nihari, kabuli, pulao, kahari, halim, what is it? Halwa puri or mutong korma, lassi, and then tikka kebab. Yeah, that is migrations and food and migrations reserve can influence our food, nutrition, and travel. It's a really mixed cultures. Next slide, please. In Southeast Asia, we just combine about the methodology, how we find the good or the best methodology for checking the best component or the best formula for this gastro-tourism program. We do the research with qualitative study, and then with analysis from management strategic planner, helicopter view analysis. Why? This is a very simple like SWOT analysis, but for the gastro-tourism program, we just create four sectors. For the first is financial, and then market orientations, and then strategic, and then gastronomist engagement. It means gastronomist engagement can engage food, nutrition, travel, culture, and agriculture. We combine that sectors as a basic foundations, because we want to show and promote about the first tourism, and then culinary, and then nutrition educations, of course, and food and product development, or mixed cultures foods or fusions foods. That's why in example of gastro-tourism practices that can be done in Indonesia from helicopter view analysis, especially in West Java or in Jakarta or Bogor area. This is a metropolitan or district area, by visiting the residence fields and visiting the tourist village, and then inviting tourists, domestic or international, to understand the process of the origins of the rice they eat, and then following the farmers' activities during the day and trying farming activities. It's gonna be market orientations. So that when serving food, and then the tourists create the food that is served and finish the meat, so that the food doesn't remain, because there is an awareness of the agrobiodiversity contributor offered by the gastro-tourism program. That will be a strategy. So how about the financial? The financial, we can collaborate with hotel, and then guest house, and then e-commerce, like a travel. In Indonesia is a very famous Traveloka, and then for hotel, what is it? Red Doors, and then Oyo Hotel, yeah, something like that. We can collaborate for that. Next slide, please. Yeah, after a helicopter view analysis, we just find about the research this gastro-tourism program, because we find what is it? We just define about gastro diplomacy, or diplomacy of gastronomy, is entitled to be carried out by countries in Southeast Asia, especially Indonesia, and then because it has a complete package with natural resource. For the first, Indonesia need more program to conduct food, nutrition, travel, culture, and agricultural diplomacy for gastronomy. Of course, this is a gastronomic pathway, so that when offering a menu for socializations like a Pakistani Indian food, and then a Thai food, and educations, the knowledge of food ingredients and food recipe will be very diverse, with many choices and values of a food. And then for the second is there is an interactions between food migrations and migratory recipes that can be tried, both mixing traditional and recipe cultures. Yeah, we just learned about how to make tikka kebab from Pakistan, and then mutton korma. It's a really interesting recipe. That is food and migrations. So for the last in Southeast Asia, through culinary and gastronomic pathways, and then through about knowledge of food ingredients, we join for United Nations Economics and Social Council, ECOSOC, conducted tourism future in the 2030 agenda, like innovations and sustainability as the new normal, states that gastronomic tourism can influence in elevating various social and health issues, and even food. And then how about in Indonesia for gastrotourism functions? That's for stunting prevention educations with tourism's method, and then which is yeah, because gastrotourism's program can entertain all of the domestic and international stories. So we just promote our campaign by younger generations because Asian countries are still dependent on the UNESC framework's view of the approach taken by approach taken to break the chains of causes, many nutrition or food problems. So this is the way, and this is the new perspective how to combine about food, nutrition, travel, culture, and agriculture. We call this gastronomy. And then so how about in gastronomy in Southeast Asia? Yeah, like during in running a nutrition and health education program in preventions like stunting, especially in the countries like Brunei, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, low PDR, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, and democratic or Timor-Leste. It's just a perspective of tourism will be very valuable and make citizens aware of the importance of preserving culinary for carrying capacity healthy food consumptions. Next slide. That's our reference. And then for the last slide. Thank you so much. If you want to know about our program, we are on in our social media on Instagram, gastronomy documentations in gastrotourisms_academy. You may follow, you may mention, or you may comment. There is our documentations about gastrotourism's program. Maybe thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ripa, for such a wonderful, you can say that, communication and talk on the gastronomy and tourism. Just while I was looking at your presentation and your social media account of gastronomy documentation, I was thinking that maybe in future we'll be having a long conversation and maybe some collaborations. Thank you so much. So here now we are going to head to our next presentation, which is actually a video presentation from Shanze Khan. And Shanze Khan is a student at Jinnah University for Women, Karachi, Pakistan. And